Okay, so you know those mysteries you just can't shake?
Yeah.
The ones where you get this feeling like there's something huge hidden just out of sight.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when it involves, like, governments being all secretive.
Right.
And things flying around that shouldn't be.
Yeah, that stuff just grabs hold of you and doesn't let go.
It totally does. Well, today we're going deep
Okay.
into some material you sent us.
Awesome.
We're going to take a look at the Deep Throat episode of The X-Files.
Oh, very cool. A classic.
It is. It really is. And we're not just going to, like, recap the plot or anything.
Right.
We want to figure out what made this episode so important.
Yeah.
You know, what were the big moments?
The really key stuff.
Yeah, what were the cool choices they made, like, behind the scenes? And
Right.
why did this particular story resonate so much with people?
Yeah, why this one?
Like, it basically set the stage for the whole X-Files universe.
It really did. So much came from this episode.
Now, for anyone who might not know, the X-Files is about these two FBI agents.
Yeah.
Fox Mulder, who believes in all the paranormal stuff.
Right.
And Dana Scully, who's the skeptic.
The voice of reason.
Exactly. And they investigate all these weird cases.
The X-Files.
Exactly, the X-Files. And Deep Throat is only the second episode.
Wow, only the second.
Of the entire first season. But people consider it like a turning point for the show.
It really set up so much of what the show would become.
Okay, so where do we even start?
Well, the episode just throws you right in.
Okay.
With this really unsettling opening scene.
Okay.
We're near Ellen's Air Base in Idaho.
Okay.
And we see this military raid on Colonel Riker Budahas's home.
Right.
His behavior is like totally erratic, like something really bad has happened.
It's clueless something's not right.
Right, and the whole thing is super secretive.
Yeah, they're not letting anyone know what's going on.
Exactly. Right away, you get this feeling that there's this powerful hidden force at work.
It's ominous.
Totally.
And then we jump ahead 4 months
Okay.
to Washington, D.C.
All right.
And we see that first meeting between Mulder and Scully.
Yeah, iconic.
Which is so iconic. And Mulder's telling Scully about all these missing pilots.
Okay.
6 since 1963.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. And they're all connected to Ellen's Air Base.
The same place from the beginning.
Yep. And then, of course, you've got the rumors of these super advanced experimental aircraft being tested there. So that's where their investigation really starts.
It all comes together.
What I think is so cool is how they introduce this idea of hidden information right away. Like Mulder's first contact with Deep Throat happens in a bar bathroom.
Of all places.
It's so random.
Right. You wouldn't expect it.
But it really emphasizes how secretive this whole thing is.
It really does. Like they can't even meet out in the open.
And then Deep Throat warns Mulder to stay away from the case.
Oh, wow.
Which just adds to the sense of danger.
Right. Like there are people who don't want him asking questions.
And then Mulder starts feeling like he's being watched.
That's creepy.
It's super creepy.
So who is this Deep Throat guy anyway?
Well, it's interesting. The inspiration for the character is pretty significant. You've got the real Deep Throat.
Right, the Watergate guy.
Exactly. And then there's the character X from the movie JFK.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I see the connection.
There are all these figures working in the shadows.
Right, giving out little bits of information.
And it seems like they wanted to make Deep Throat this link between Mulder and Scully and the bigger conspiracy.
Makes sense. They need someone to point them in the right direction.
And I think all this stuff happening in the real world at the time.
Like what?
Like Watergate and the JFK movie.
Oh, okay.
Really made people distrust the government.
Yeah, people were more open to conspiracy theories.
Exactly. So a character like Deep Throat felt very real.
He fit right in.
So Mulder and Scully head to Idaho to start their investigation.
All right.
And the first person they talk to is Colonel Budahas's wife, Anita.
Okay.
And the way she describes his behavior before he disappeared.
Yeah.
It's really unsettling. It's not just a missing person case.
It's something more.
There's this whole other psychological element to it.
Right, like something messed with his mind.
And then they visit the McLennan house.
Okay.
And Mr. McLennan is acting really strange, too.
How so?
Like he's obsessed with hares or something.
That's weird.
And Anita thinks his condition is connected to her husband's.
So there's a pattern.
Exactly. It's like something is happening to these pilots.
That's not normal.
And this is where you really see Mulder and Scully dynamic.
Yeah, how they approach things differently.
Right. Scully, with her scientific background, tries to find a rational explanation.
Like what?
Like maybe it's stereotypy.
Okay.
Or maybe these pilots were washouts from a top secret program.
Like what kind of program?
Like the rumored Project Aurora.
Right, the super secret plane.
Yeah, but Mulder, he's all about the unexplained.
Of course.
He points out that these pilots were all really good.
So it doesn't make sense they would just lose it.
Exactly. They try to interview Colonel Kissel, but they get nowhere.
Like he's not talking.
He's not saying anything. It's like they're hitting a wall.
Yeah, like someone's trying to stop him.
And then they meet this local reporter, Paul Mossinger.
Okay.
And he seems really skeptical about UFOs.
Like he doesn't believe any of it.
Yeah. But later we find out that's all an act.
So he's part of the cover-up.
Which is so cool, right?
Yeah, it's like they can't trust anyone.
And it shows how deep this whole conspiracy goes.
Even regular people are involved.
Okay, then they go to this diner called the Flying Saucer.
I love that name.
It's so X-Files, right?
Totally.
And they meet this UFO enthusiast who has all these photos.
Oh, wow.
And she claims she saw this fast-flying aircraft.
What was it?
Scully says it was an F-15 Eagle.
Oh, so just a regular plane.
Yeah, but it adds to the whole atmosphere of the area.
Like everyone's seeing strange things.
And even in this scene, Mulder manages to get a handwritten map
Really?
of Ellen's airbase.
That's sneaky.
It is, but it shows how dedicated he is to finding the truth.
Like he's not giving up.
Exactly. That night, they stake out the base, and they see these mysterious lights in the sky.
Oh, wow.
Doing these crazy maneuvers.
Like they couldn't be planes.
No way. This is the first time we really see that something extraordinary is happening.
It's not just rumors anymore?
And then they run into these two teenagers.
Okay.
Emil and Zoe.
All right.
And these kids have seen weird lights, too.
Really?
They claim they saw UFOs taking off from another base nearby.
Oh, wow. So there's even more going on.
They call it Yellow Base.
Yellow Base.
Which is supposedly this hangar surrounded by landmines.
That's intense.
And Emil's description of the aircraft matches the UFO in LaDonna's photo.
The woman from the diner.
Yeah. So it's starting to feel like there's a real pattern here.
This is getting crazy.
Right. Okay, so then Colonel Modajas suddenly returns.
Wait, I thought he was gone.
He was, but now he's back.
That's strange.
But Anita says it's not him.
What? But he looks like him, right?
Yeah, he looks exactly the same.
Then what's going on?
It's messed up. And this throws everything they thought they knew out the window.
Wow, so it's not just about missing pilots anymore.
It's about identity. Like maybe they're messing with people's minds.
That's a scary thought.
It is. And Mulder thinks they're using some kind of technology to erase people's memories.
Like mind control.
Yeah, basically. Scully's not so sure about that.
Of course not.
But it's the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah, especially with Anita's reaction.
And then the men in black show up.
Oh, man. Here we go.
Yeah. They stop Mulder and Scully on the road.
Yeah.
Search their car.
Uh-oh.
Take their evidence.
Not good.
And tell them to get out of town.
So they're serious.
They are not messing around.
Wow.
It shows how powerful these people are.
And how far they'll go to keep things secret.
Scully tries to track the men in black,
okay,
but she can't find them.
Like they disappeared.
And then Mulder tells her that he was warned in D.C.
Oh, wow.
And that his phone was tapped.
So it's all connected.
It's a huge conspiracy.
Okay, so what do?
Well, even after all that,
yeah,
Mulder decides to sneak onto the airbase.
Is that a good idea?
Probably not, but he's determined to find out the truth.
It's taking a big risk.
Yes, and even Emil and Zoe, who knows the area, won't go inside the base at night.
That's telling. Like, they know it's dangerous.
And then Mulder sees this triangular craft hovering over him.
No way.
And then the military captures him.
Oh, man, he's in trouble now.
He is. While all this is happening,
yeah,
Scully's still investigating.
Okay.
She tries to make some phone calls.
Yeah.
But she can't get through.
Why not?
She thinks the military is jamming the lines.
Oh, they're really trying to stop him.
And then she figures out that Mossinger, the reporter, actually works for Ellen's airbase.
What? That's crazy.
Right. So she basically kidnaps him.
She kidnaps him.
To force him to help her find Mulder.
Wow, Scully's getting tough.
She is. They meet at the base entrance to exchange Mulder.
Okay.
And Mulder's clearly been drugged.
Oh, no.
But he remembers seeing this huge spaceship-shaped thing in a hangar.
A spaceship? Like, for real?
That's what he says. And Mossinger warns Scully that the area is heavily guarded.
Right.
And that they were acting inappropriately.
Like a threat.
Yeah, basically. And then the Budahas show up.
Okay.
And they're super weird about it.
Weird how?
Like, they're being forced to say they don't know anything.
So someone got to them.
It seems that way. Scully's going to close the case, but you can tell she's still curious.
Yeah, like she doesn't have all the answers.
In her report, she confirms the UFO sighting.
Okay.
But she doesn't go into Mulder's theories about what happened to Budahas.
She's still skeptical.
And then there's that shot of her her looking at the UFO photo.
Right.
Like she's thinking about everything.
It's like she's starting to believe.
Then we get that final scene with Mulder and Deep Throat at the racetrack.
Oh, yeah. Another iconic scene.
It is. And Deep Throat warns Mulder that they're in danger.
Like real danger.
Like their lives are at risk. And he says he only gives information when it helps him.
So he's not just trying to help them.
He's got his own reasons.
Interesting.
Mulder's so frustrated because he saw something real.
Yeah.
And now it's like it never happened.
Like they're trying to erase what he saw.
Exactly. And then Deep Throat says something really interesting.
What's that?
He asks why believers aren't put off by evidence that contradicts their beliefs.
Oh, that's a good question.
It is, and it suggests that the lack of proof can actually keep the belief alive.
It's like the mystery keeps them going.
And then he drops the bomb.
What bomb?
He says aliens have been on the planet for an extremely long time.
Wow, that's a big statement.
It is, and that line basically sets up the whole X-Files mythology.
Like that's their starting point.
Exactly.
So what about behind the scenes?
Okay, so this is actually Jerry Hargan's first time playing Deep Throat.
Really?
And he was perfect.
He really nailed that secretive vibe.
Totally. And the character was inspired by the real Deep Throat.
Of course.
And the character X from JFK.
So it's like a combination of those two.
Yeah. The episode also uses a lot of real UFO beliefs.
Like what?
Like the whole Area 51 thing.
Oh, yeah.
Ellen's Air Base is basically Area 51.
And there's Nellis Air Force Base nearby, too.
And they even mentioned Project Aurora.
So it's all based on real conspiracy theories.
Which is so smart.
Yeah. It makes it feel more believable.
I also read that Bruce Wolfney and Amberson,
the actors.
Yeah, they had to learn how to use guns for the show.
Really?
They didn't know how before.
Apparently not.
That's funny.
It is.
And the filming locations are interesting, too. They used a house from another Chris Carter show, Millennium.
Cool. Recycling.
And they shot the bar scene at a place called the Meat Market.
Huh, interesting.
Which was actually a lot fancier in real life.
Oh, wow, that's funny.
And they had trouble filming at the diner.
Oh, yeah? Why?
It was in a really remote location.
Oh, I see.
So it was hard to get everything there.
Makes sense.
There's also this funny story about Seth Green.
Email.
Yeah. He said he'd never smoke pot.
Really?
But they cast him as a pothead.
That's hilarious.
And he said Duchovny was really nice.
Oh, that's good.
Apparently, the special effects for the UFO weren't very good.
Really?
Yeah, Chris Carter even said they were some of the worst they did.
I guess they didn't have a big budget.
And this episode was also Mark Snow's first time.
Oh, wow.
Composing music for the X-Files.
His music is so good.
So good. It's so iconic.
It's like its own character.
Oh, totally. And they only added Scully's voiceover at the end.
At the very end.
Yeah.
Why?
Because Fox wanted the audience to have more closure.
Oh, interesting.
So they wanted everything explained.
I see.
So one of the big themes in Deep Throat is how hard it is to hold powerful organizations accountable.
Yeah, like when they're doing bad things.
Especially when they're keeping secrets.
Right, they can get away with anything.
And the episode shows this shift in science fiction toward conspiracy theories.
Which makes sense because of Watergate.
Exactly. People were already suspicious of the government.
Right, so they were more likely to believe in these stories.
The episode was actually really well received.
Really?
Yeah, people liked it.
What did they like about it?
They liked Hardin's performance as Deep Throat.
Of course he was great.
And they thought the story was really interesting.
It was very suspenseful.
But some critics said it didn't have enough resolution.
Like they didn't answer all the questions.
Which I think became a trademark of the X-Files.
Yeah, they always left you wanting more.
But everyone agrees that Deep Throat set up the whole series.
It introduced all the big themes.
And Entertainment Weekly even said Deep Throat's introduction was one of the best TV moments of the 90s.
Wow, that's huge.
So Deep Throat was way more than just an early episode.
It was like a blueprint for the whole show.
It introduced Deep Throat, established the themes of conspiracy and the unknown,
right,
and showed us what it was like to make TV back then.
It's amazing how one episode could do so much.
It is. It's a testament to good storytelling.
Totally.
So think about this.
Okay.
The episode's all about government secrets and the possibility of the unknown.
Right.
What are some parallels to today's world?
Oh, that's a good word.
We're bombarded with information,
right,
but it's hard to know what's true.
And people are still drawn to the X-Files.
Yeah, why is that?
Maybe it's because we're still fascinated by the unexplained.
Or maybe we're worried about what's really going on.
Like what's hidden from us.
And Deep Throat's final words, they really make you think.
They do.
About what we believe and why we believe it.
It's a good way to end.